Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep, really deep, into Keysight Technologies.
KYS.
That's right, ticker symbol KEYS. They're kind of quietly powering the future of tech, and we're going to break it all down.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
So we've got all sorts of stuff. We've got financial reports, we've got transcripts from their earnings calls, we've got what the analysts are saying.
Some news articles.
Yeah, some recent news articles, the whole 9 yards. By the end of this, you're going to know if Keysight is a stock worth watching. So to start things off, maybe we can kind of demystify what this company actually does.
Yeah, their website, it's a lot, so
It gets a little jargony.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So basically, they provide all the testing and measurement equipment that other companies need to build electronics.
Okay.
So like your smartphone,
Right.
self-driving cars,
Wow.
aerospace tech, even the networks that, enable 5G and AI.
So they're not building the next iPhone,
No.
but they're making sure everything in it actually works.
Exactly, exactly. And they're not just doing this in one place, they're global.
Really?
Yeah, so Americas, Europe, Asia Pacific, the whole deal.
Okay, that's a big footprint.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
All right, so big company, lots going on. Let's talk stock performance. So right now, Keysight's trading at around 168.61 a share.
Per share.
Which is interesting because that's actually above the estimated fair value of like 149.65.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little
A little tricky.
yeah, a little tricky because you've got analysts who are like super bullish on them. Like
Yeah.
they're saying, "Oh, there's going to be this huge demand surge in 2025, especially with, all this AI stuff taking off." I think Insider Monkey even called them like a top stock pick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so at first glance,
sounds great.
sounds like a winner, right?
Yeah.
But we did our own analysis,
Yeah.
and maybe a little more caution is needed.
Yeah, a little bit. So their Q4 earnings for 2024, I mean, they did beat expectations, which is good, but their revenue for the whole year actually dipped a bit compared to last year.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on.
All right, so we're seeing mixed signals already.
Yeah.
To kind of unpack this, maybe we should talk about Keysight's competitive landscape.
Right.
And that brings us to the economic moat.
The moat, yeah.
Yeah.
Always important.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like, what's their advantage, right?
Yeah.
What keeps them ahead of the competition?
Okay.
Keeps their profits safe, so to speak. It's like,
Like a castle with a moat.
yeah, exactly, a castle moat.
Okay, so what kind of moat does Keysight have?
So their moat, it's definitely got some strong points.
Good.
They're really good at the whole software side of testing and measurement, and they're leaders in, those key markets, 5G, AI, all that.
Right.
They're known for innovation. They really build those customer relationships.
But I'm seeing like narrow moat pop up in our analysis.
Yeah, and
Maybe not as reassuring as a wide moat.
yeah, narrow moat means there's some vulnerabilities. Like what? Well, one thing is the automotive sector. It's a big market for them,
Sure.
but EV sales are slowing down, and there's like too many batteries out there.
Okay.
So that hurts Keysight because they specialize in testing those high voltage systems that EVs use.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing.
One thing.
What else?
Their Electronic Industrial Solutions Group, EISG for short,
What do they do?
they focus on other industries like aerospace, semiconductors, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But they've been lagging a bit, haven't seen any real order growth year over year.
So not great.
No, not ideal.
Okay. Anything else we should be worried about?
Yeah, the whole supply chain thing, it's still a problem, especially for like the AI data center infrastructure. It's
Alright.
impacting them, and they're having to invest a lot to deal with those risks.
So it's costing the money.
Yeah, adds another layer of complication.
Okay, so that's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
And speaking of things to keep track of, they bought Spirent, right?
Yeah, recently.
Another company in kind of the same
It's
space.
similar space, yeah.
Good move, bad move.
Well, it's definitely strategic.
Okay.
It helps them solidify their position in the market.
All right.
But like any acquisition, there's always integration risks, right?
Yeah, sure.
Adds more moving parts.
More complexity.
Exactly.
So we've got a company in a high growth sector, lots of strengths, but some real world problems too. Sounds like the classic risk versus reward situation.
It really is. That's why you got to go deeper,
Yeah.
beyond just the headlines to figure out if Keysight makes sense for you as an investment.
All right, so we set the stage. Now it's time to really dig in and see what we can find. Stay with us, folks. This deep dive is just getting started.
We've talked about, some of the issues Keysight's facing,
Yeah.
but they're not just like sitting around.
No, they're actually doing stuff.
Yeah, they're making moves, trying to, get ahead of things.
Okay, so let's get into those moves. You mentioned the Spirit acquisition.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So why is it such a big deal?
Well, it really boosts their capabilities in a couple key areas.
Yep.
5G network testing, cybersecurity.
Oh, those are big.
Yeah, huge, especially now. And by joining up with Spirent, they're basically creating this whole package of solutions.
So it's like they're becoming the one-stop shop.
Exactly. And it's not just about, having more stuff. It's about
Yeah.
having the right stuff. Keysight, they're known for their high-frequency measurement expertise, which is, crucial for 5G and all the next-gen stuff. And
Yeah.
Spirent, they bring in the network performance, security testing, all that. So together, they're pretty powerful.
Powerful combo.
Yeah.
But we got to be real. Mergers, acquisitions, they can go wrong.
Yeah.
So what are the risks here?
Integration, always
Yeah.
tricky. Two big companies, different cultures.
Like different systems?
Yeah, systems, even just customer confusion, they got to manage this carefully.
Yeah, make it smooth.
Exactly, minimize the disruption.
I always think of it like merging two families. They've got their own ways of doing things.
Traditions, habits.
Yeah, it takes time to blend it all together.
Totally. And it's not just internal, right? They have to convince their customers that this is a good thing.
Right, sell them on it.
Yeah, show them the value.
Okay, so big acquisition, some shaky market segments, the supply chain issues,
Yeah, it's a lot.
a lot to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Maybe we should zoom out a bit, look at the big picture. Financially, how's Keysight doing overall?
They have a pretty solid track record, actually.
Okay,
They've been good at generating cash flow.
so that gives them options.
Exactly. Invest in growth, handle tough times, even reward their shareholders.
Through dividends, buybacks.
That.
They did just announce a dividend, right?
Yep, 40 cents a share.
Not huge, but it's something.
It's a sign, They're committed to their investors.
Okay.
And those steady dividends, they can be really helpful, especially when the market's all over the place.
True. What about valuation, though? I mean, they're trading at a PE ratio of 31
Yeah, that's a bit on the high end
compared to...
compared to some of their peers, yeah.
Is that a problem?
Well, got to remember, growth companies, especially in those cutting-edge sectors like Keysight's in, they tend to have higher valuations.
Okay, so it's not automatically bad.
No, it's all relative, right? You compare it to their growth potential, how profitable they are, what's happening in the industry.
Right.
And for Keysight, that focus on 5G, AI, it does justify a premium to a certain extent.
All right, so we're getting mixed signals, strong financials, they seem to be playing the long game, but also some real hurdles to overcome and that premium valuation. So how do we put all this together?
Yeah.
What should investors be paying attention to?
Execution, that's key.
Okay.
Can they actually make this Spirent thing work? Can they handle those automotive headwinds?
Right.
Get their EISG segment back on track?
It's like they have the pieces, but can they assemble them?
Exactly, and that's what we'll dive into in the next part.
Okay, looking forward to it.
We'll look at their growth drivers, competition, and those geopolitical risks.
Oh yeah, can't forget about those.
Definitely not. Lots more to uncover.
All right, stay tuned, folks. The deep dive continues. All right, we've covered a lot, haven't we?
We have Keysight's business, how they make money, those acquisitions.
A whole industry, basically.
About all the things that are kind of pushing and pulling them.
And it seems like it's a company with both good stuff and some challenges.
Yeah, it's a real mix.
That's like they're this high growth tech company, but also they've been around for a while.
Right, it's interesting.
It's a weird combo.
They've got that startup energy, but also they're not new to the game.
Right. They have experience, resources.
Exactly. But that also means they got to deal with all the baggage that comes with both.
So for our viewers out there, what does this all mean if they're thinking about, buying Keysight stock?
I think the big thing is don't get swept up in all the hype, right? All the 5G AI buzz.
Yeah, don't just buy it because it's trendy.
Exactly. But also don't ignore their potential.
It's a balance.
Yeah, you got to do your research.
You read beyond the headlines.
Look at those numbers, but also try to see the bigger picture,
Investing, it's not about getting rich quick.
No, it's a marathon for sure.
You got to be in it for the long haul.
The ups and downs, they're going to happen.
It's the long-term trends that matter.
And speaking of long-term, we can't ignore geopolitics.
Right, the elephant in the room.
Keysight, they're global, and that U.S.-China thing, it's going to affect them.
So how should investors think about that?
Tough question.
Yeah, no easy answers.
On one hand, being global, it means they're not all their eggs in one basket.
Diversification, right?
Right, but it also means they're exposed to all those risks.
Trade wars, sanctions, who knows what else.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
They got to be careful.
And investors got to watch how they adapt to all that.
Okay, so lots to consider. Before we wrap up, I want to leave our viewers with something to think about.
All right, hit us with it.
So we know Keysight, they're testing all this cutting-edge tech.
Right, and some of that stuff, it has national security implications.
Exactly, and we've talked about how that could get caught up in geopolitical fights.
So the question is...
The question is, how might all that, government policies, trade restrictions, maybe even bans on certain technologies,
how's that going to affect Keysight's growth in the long run?
it's something to keep in mind as you're, deciding whether to invest.
Definitely food for thought.
We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of Keysight.
All those factors that could shape their future.
And if you liked it, hit that subscribe button.
And the bell so you don't miss any of our future deep dives.
We'll break down more companies, more market trends, help you make those smart investment choices.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, happy investing.